to the neighborhood. Just say my name, I won't complain. Just say my name, it's all the same. Bitching is a natural thing, holding it or just complain. Bitching make you feel so good. Welcome to the neighborhood. Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, world.
I'm gonna have to steal that line, and we're gonna use it for I'm bitching. Good morning, it don't sound that
You've
good.
been using it for a while.
Well, it doesn't sound good when you say good morning, I'm bitching, but it says good morning, Vietnam. That sounds good. That sounds good. That's our catchphrase. That
Hello,
nothing
this
to do
is
with the show.
Bianca and Curtis
Yeah.
with I Don't Care What You Think and I'm Bitching, our comedy video show.
Yeah. And you can find it all over the network.
All over podcasting and on websites.
Whatever.
Just read here.
Just go watch the damn show. And don't make us come after you. All right? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Now, we'd like to talk about why is it so difficult to be happy in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those people who are happy...
Without watching our blog, when you don't have our blog, why are you not happy?
How do you find happiness without watching our blog?
Without us.
Now the question is that for you people who are not miserable, you can get up from the table now and walk away. But you guys who are always complaining and depressed, nobody likes you, sit right down, we're your friends.
You can cry on our imaginary shoulder.
This is where you should be at every day, because we're trying to give you some inspiration and uplifting.
Yeah, and definitely we're showing you that world is serious enough. So
yeah, you don't have to
give a laugh.
You know, the thing is that they
give
say
somebody a hug and you feel better.
Yeah, but they say don't take yourself so serious, and that's the most important aspect I think that I've learned living on this planet, is that you create your own perspective. You create your own perspective of
your own spinsels in your head, like the crazy stuff in your head that's floating around. You do that.
Yeah, you know, one of my teachers told me one day, like when I was in elementary school, and I said, "Yeah, he made me mad," so I hit him. She says, "Nobody can make you mad. Yeah. You decided to get mad, and then you decided to hit him."
Yeah,
I said,
choice.
So what? I said, so what point are you trying to make? I would like to. What point are you trying to make?
Yeah. We're responsible for our own thoughts, for our own actions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cannot change the world.
Now,
nobody's ever managed to do that.
Now, you know, we always talk about back in the day. Well, you know, most people talk the good old days. Well, if you're 15 or if you're 20, you don't really have no good old days, because you don't have enough history. So don't worry about the good old days. When you get like 30, then you can start talking about the good old days. But the good old days,
maybe because you didn't have that much responsibility.
Look, listen, I was not. I'm going to tell you what. When I grew up, I was not picked on. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe there was like one guy in the neighborhood who would harass everybody. I was smart enough to stay away from him, but I would take a baseball bat to him anytime he would threaten me.
That was his choice.
Well, that was my choice. Also, we could stay out late. We could go places by ourselves. Our parents didn't have to watch me. I'm sure there was pedophilia then, but not like it is now in America. Like they're growing them in some sort of nursery somewhere underground.
You have to watch your kids like a hawk.
Jesus, man. Somebody do something about this, because somewhere we have learned to accept this as being part of the norm. This is not normal. No. And you shouldn't accept it. And maybe we should bring back the death penalty for people like this. They need a deterrent.
Well, definitely a punishment.
Well, no, I'm hang those suckers.
Going too far.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I digress. So I'm just saying.
Happiness.
This
is something that doesn't make us happy.
Well, but the thing is, too,
it's crazy stuff.
When I grew up, and I think part of it was naivety, because we didn't know things.
Yeah.
So you didn't, we wasn't afraid. So, but ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, if you look back now, if I look back at my childhood with adult eyes, I see that we had a pretty good life, and I was pretty happy. Now, I don't know what went on with my mother and father. You know why? Because we wasn't privy to that information. Yeah. They didn't have discussions about things in front of us that was not concerning them. So maybe my mother and father hated. Maybe they were miserable. Yeah, could have been.
But I think nowadays you talk more with your kids about serious topics.
Which you shouldn't be talking to them because you're still in childhood. You're still in childhood. They don't need to know all this. And now, even now, I look at people with children, and they come to me and they say, that's Curtis. I said, no, I'm not his play friend. I'm Mr. Curtis.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I hate that.
I'm not.
Really
I'm not on his level.
Yeah.
And I don't play with children. I don't play with children, kids. I don't play with individual children anymore because of that. Mm-hmm. Because they have not taught their children that there is a difference between my age and their age, and so they think I'm their buddy. I'm not your goddamn buddy. And you better not start kicking me and start saying you poop head and shit to me. Because I'm not going to take it. And I'm going to tell your parents that I won't come to your house if this is the best you can do with your kids. I don't need to be exposed to this. Yep. And nor am I going to let my children play with your little rotten ass chair. Yeah. Well, I'm back at badass kids again.
Then we go back to the topic.
Yeah, the badass kids. But the thing is this.
Parents' responsibility.
The question is, my question to you is, are you happier in today's society or what?
Than when I was younger?
Yeah, or do you think it has anything to do with then and now?
Well, what I just said, I think for me it's a responsibility. Also having children and having to deal with the authorities and junk coming at your door and in your living room. And when you were younger, you didn't have all this stuff. It's more like you talked about the naivety. But I think it's I think so. That makes it less happier.
No, I still think, listen, I think it's the mentality of the man today is that we have no respect for nothing and no one where, when the 80s came, and this is what I seen happen. Yeah. When the 80s came, we took on this thing, I'm number one shit. Mm-hmm. And this is where we start going downhill from that perspective, is that it's me, myself, and I. Yeah. Me, myself. And before we were thinking more in a communicable concept, because we grew up as like community. When I grew up in a community. Yeah. Do you now show me a community?
Yeah, but also what I was thinking about, you see a lot of children play with all kids, regarding of their background, their culture, their skin color, and now when we're older, everybody's like, oh, let's be with this group or this group or this group,
and that's conditioning.
Yeah, of course, the racism part again, and conditioning, and the way you grew up. But you know what? Listen, that's what I don't like. I mean,
are we fools or are we intelligent people? And that's the question I keep asking. Are we fools or are we intelligent? Do you believe everything? Now, do you believe everything that your parents told you? Do you believe everything that you read in the paper? Do you believe everything you watch on television? Mm-hmm. And if you do, you are sadly misguided. Yep. And you will find yourself in trouble sooner or later. It's the same thing. To be a skinhead, to be a Klansman or something like that, you are a simple-minded person who has been misguided. Mm-hmm. Because none of this is true. It's far from being real. If I believe that my race is a superior race than other races, and how am I getting to this thing? Because it's about today's problems. These are things that are prevalent in our society. It is ridiculous that now, can you imagine this? We're in 2010 and we still think, you still have people think like this. Now, what are we going to do with now this is where what we call like survival of the fittest comes in. This is natural selection coming. If we were living in an environment that was natural, those people who thought like that will die out. You know why? It's because
it doesn't work.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense.
And it doesn't serve you.
And that doesn't serve the community. No. And so if you want to segregate yourself, imagine you and the tribe and 5 other guys want to go on their own and say, like, we want to be by ourselves because we don't like the other ones. They got big feet. Yeah. Who do you think is going to survive? Yeah. We have more hunters. We have more heat. We have more wood. We have more water. And we have territory, which we're going to take from you eventually, 5 guys. You don't realize that. So I'm rambling, but I'm tired of this nonsense. Like I said, I like to close my eyes one day and find a world where we start using our not just our frontal lobe, but our whole capacity as intelligent beings, and prove that we can be better
and happier.
And why do I have to watch goddamn Star Trek and all those space movies to see intelligent people actually behaving?
Intelligence.
But I was watching Star Trek 2. They still fighting and killing everybody. So what's up with that?
Okay, we wanna leave you with a smile on your face and enjoy your day or your evening.
Wake up and smell the coffee.
Bye.
Bye. Teaching is a natural thing. Holding it or just complain. Bitching makes you feel so good. Welcome to the neighborhood.